Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am Josephine, if you don't already know. Today I am very excited because I'm going to be introducing my first official segment of Tea Talks with Joe. And additionally, I am accompanied by one of my very good friends, Benny. And Benny has her own channel called Benny Takes. So you better go subscribe, you better go like her videos, watch them to the fullest. I'll put her link in the description box. So this wouldn't be Tea Talk without tea. So for today's segment, I have made a chamomile, lavender, and rose tea.
That sounds delicious.
Yes, it's
that
very
sounds
nice.
Amazing.
So I'll give you your
Take
saucer.
this one right here. I feel really bougie. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I feel real bougie.
So the reason why I wanted to do tea is because tea is not only a social drink, but it's also it can be medicinal. It can be, it can be medicinal.
Get into it. All I'm excited for is to get my pinky on. I'm finna have my pinky up the whole time. Up. The whole thing. Cheers, by the way.
I figure out how to do this with the pinky. It won't work.
We tried. Cheers. Already. Ooh, let's see.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's really good tea. What you put in it?
Brown sugar.
Oh, dang. That's good. And it's not like overwhelming.
No, it's just enough so it's not combating the flavors, it's just complementing it.
Listen, I'm ready. All right, tell me, Joe, what is we doing?
So, the first official conversation of Tea Talks is going to be delusional versus detrimental. And to break it down, I want to kind of just like talk about how all over social media you see people talking about, oh, I'm delusional, I'm a delulu girl, we're all delusional. Okay, but at what point is being delusional no longer beneficial for you and is detrimental to your health and to your well-being? So I say to an extent, being delusional is good, because in another way, it's you're faking it so you're making it. But at what point is it going to cause you harm where you're almost in like a psychosis thinking that what am I doing that is actually benefiting? Is what I'm doing actually something that is going to benefit me, or is it something that I'm telling myself is benefiting me just because I don't have the mental capacity to admit that it's not something that's actually good for me?
So give me an example of when it might actually be detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Like at what point do you feel like, okay, now being delusional is now, it's actually not serving you? Give me an example, because I'm interested in hearing that.
Okay, I'll give a quick example, one I can think of off the top of my head. So, say you are somebody who believes that they have the best luck in the entire world, and every single week you spend $100 to $150 on lottery tickets. You never win every single week, but you're gambling your money away, and now you spend $100. Well, maybe if I spend $200, if I spend $300, next thing you know, you're spending almost your entire paycheck away because you have the delusion of thinking I'm the luckiest person alive, when clearly, unfortunately, you're not saying it won't happen, but at what extent, at one point, are you going to gamble away your delusions for this thing that isn't giving you anything in profit for return?
I think sometimes people, they have to do it because it's bringing them some kind of, because the world is crazy, y'all. The world is crazy enough, and I feel like sometimes maybe people are clinging on a little too tightly to just this idea that if I just, hope a little bit longer, if I pretend a little bit longer, that somehow, something will come out of it. Because if I'm being honest, the opposite is not true. Because obviously, don't be buying lottery ticket and doing the most. But like if I'm just sitting here beating on myself and feeling like I'm not worth it, I'm not enough, I'm not all of that stuff, then that's not hurting. That's not helping nobody. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what is the balance? You know what I'm saying? How do you navigate not looking, cuckoo crazy, while at the same time also, like, honoring where you are and the boundaries that you have for yourself? You know what I'm saying?
But that's exactly what it is a matter of having a balance. You can be delusional and fake it till you make it and tell yourself, I'm the most famous person ever, I'm the most richest person ever. And there's a balance, though. Once you go over that balance, that's when it becomes detrimental, because you're now affecting yourself in a negative way. So you're no longer increasing and you're decreasing, no matter how much you're speaking highly, no matter how much you're trying to proclaim things into the reality. If your actions are causing negative effects, it doesn't matter how much you positively talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be the devil's advocate, but I want to make sure that we have, all the points across. My thing with that is, so long as your actions are also aligning with the behaviors that you're actually hoping for, right? So I'm not gonna use the lottery example because there's no way to justify that one. But say I wake up feeling like, oh, I am the most beautiful woman that ever walked the earth, because I believe that about myself. Turn it up, pa pa pa. Because I believe that about myself, then I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna then attract the beauty. I'm gonna wake up and make myself beautiful. I'm gonna wake up and actually, get my nails done and make sure that, what I'm saying, like I'm doing the things that actually align with the belief that I have of myself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That to me is healthy. That to me is very much important, because again, it doesn't serve anybody if we're all sitting over here just, almost like being too humble for our own good. Like, no, talk your talk.
Absolutely. You should
talk.
absolutely be doing something like that. I mean, I can even say for myself, when I first started modeling, and even now, I always joke around when I was starting with my music. People would ask me, Joe, well, why did you change your name? Well, I decided to change my name, and I always joke and I would say, well, Josephine is my celebrity alias name, and it's my artist name, and I'm preparing. I always joke and say, I'm preparing for the day when I am a celebrity.
Were
I already
you
have
joking,
that.
or were you like low-key being like,
Oh, I was
it like
low-key.
fake talk? Was it like, I'm about to be on y'all screen? This is a little snippet, just so you know, I spoke it back in 2009.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
but like in a humble way. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my way to just prepare for when I'm a celebrity.
Why do you have to be humble about that? Why can't you be loud and be like...
You can be humble, but still be loud. It's a balance. There's a way you can be humble and understand, like, I know who I am and my morals as a person. I'm not going to talk my talk and become a cocky, big-headed person, because that's where it separates. You can be humble and still be like, I know where I come from. I know where I'm going, but I'm still going to keep my morals as I am, no matter how big I become, or no matter what my name becomes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you are still that same person that you were 10 years ago, just a different variation of versions. You have to respect the fact that you are who you are because of who you used to be.
I definitely respect that. I feel like though sometimes I never want to conflict humility with low self-esteem, because a lot of us are walking around here. We're not humble. We have low self-esteem. A lot of us, we're actually timid about, talking good and like talking highly of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, the problem becomes is if you thinking that, okay, Josephine is my celebrity name, or like my, whatever that represents to you. The problem to me becomes if you think that you having that or you becoming that makes you better than everybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So long as the belief is like, I believe this about myself, I know this about myself. I'm gonna use an example. I believe that I am the most beautiful woman to ever walk the earth, but that doesn't mean Joe is ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not thinking, I'm not putting nobody else down. I'm just believing what I believe about myself to really help me, to really propel me. Because I don't know where I read this from, but this person was basically saying that whatever you believe about yourself will actually create the reality of your life. Absolutely. So if you believe, Josephine is gonna make it someday, then you wake up in the morning and your actions end up aligning with the fact that Josephine is gonna make it the next day, or whatever the case is. So I just want to be clear, because again, I feel like especially women, because men be out here reckless. men be having the audacity. Men be mediocre at best, but be out here loud. They be out here loud and wrong. My G, how you loud and wrong? Choose a struggle. Either you loud or you wrong. Pick a struggle. Which is it?
You can't be both.
You cannot be both. But then women, we're socialized to be like, oh, it's
keep
okay,
quiet,
like keep
this,
quiet. It's
that,
just like,
this.
No, I am Josephine motherfucking Alari, okay? And that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be some kind of, I don't know.
No,
that's
true.
This tea got me all,
no, that's true.
all hot and bothered.
It is hot.
It sure is hot. Listen. But no, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like my thing. I feel like, to your point, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying, but I feel like we can, like, no, talk your talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk
yeah.
your talk. You cannot just let people, you know.
Well, to piggyback off what you said, where your mental state creates your reality, that's 100% true. If you are going about life and say it is a beautiful sunny day, but in your mind it's not sunny enough, that automatically changes your reality to be less than what it actually is, versus if you're going outside and it's raining, you say, but you know what? It could be worse. It's actually very beautiful outside. I hear a bird chirping. I see the sun peeking through, even though it's still raining. You're changing the narrative and you're creating something beautiful because it starts in your mind. If you're going out there saying, oh, this isn't good enough, then automatically it's not going to be good enough.
Nothing is.
If you're taking it for what it is and appreciating it, but then you're also adding to it and saying, you know what, this is beautiful. I woke up today. I get to see the sun. I get to smell the air. I get to hear the birds. I get to experience all 5 senses, or whatever it is that you're talking about. Your reality will be more beautiful because you're appreciating it for being what it is, as it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that goes for everything else in your life. And that's where I think a good level of delusion is healthy, because you have to be delusional for the way the society works and for the way the world works. You have to have a certain level of delusion to create a reality that's beautiful and healthy and safe and comfortable for yourself, because if not, then you can go into a state of psychosis where nothing is real and nothing is actually healthy or safe or comfortable, and that's again where it becomes detrimental.
Yeah, and especially even for creators, right? Like, I know you are pursuing modeling, you know, singing, and maybe in the future acting and content creation, all of that stuff. At a certain point, you gotta be like, you gotta pump yourself, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's gotta be a certain level of, you know, delusion that you walk in to just really believe and really think highly of yourself, because your competition is like, you know, there's a lot of people chasing the same. There's a lot of people doing all these different things, and at a certain point, you have to be like, okay, you have to just like keep that certain mindset, because otherwise, you know, unlike, you know, maybe people who have like traditional careers with like, I'm gonna just get a job and that's gonna be it. And not even to downplay that, because even with you looking for like a job, with different people looking for work, you still have to believe that out of all the candidates, that I am the best one, that I am qualified, that I am all of those things. So in any area of your life, you know, and particularly as creators, that you have to really be like, okay, when those auditions don't go your way, the next day you gotta wake up and be like, well, okay, I'm still the baddie, you know, Thursday, you know, your light bill is due. Still, you know, I'm still that girl. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep, you know, doing that. However, period. A lot of us on socials, we take everything like extreme. I'm talking about, we hear you in Yemen. Man, what's going on? Like, take it easy. It don't gotta be, you know, balance. Let's find the middle ground, because it can't also be, you know.
I feel like a lot with social media causes a lot of unhealthy delusions with how people think that social media, especially Instagram, and how it portrays, again, realities. It makes it very difficult for people to see what is real and what isn't real.
What's your best example of what you've seen on Instagram being like, now, come on? So
I can say, just from personal experience, when I was really first starting to get into influencing and content creation last year, and even a year and a half ago, I'll say even, and when you're looking at the finished product on Instagram, you only see that finished product, that video, that picture. You don't know how many takes went behind it. You don't know if the person actually went there to record their video. You don't know if they actually were doing it because they're doing it for, oh, I actually am going grocery shopping and this is what I'm doing, or I'm doing it simply because I want to get views and likes. So it's knowing which things are real reality, and which parts are delusions that are detrimental, or which things are genuine. And that causes a lot of issues in, I think, today's societies. We see like all these people who are flying to this country, going this, have this car, have this money, have this outfit, these shoes, or whatever it is, but in reality they're still living at mama's house with no money to their name.
I saw this creator one time. She posted a picture, this like beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. I'm talking about the Instagram, you know, that girl aesthetic.
Yeah.
She was just like posing, and in her caption she was like, you will look at this and think this is my house. Yeah, this is not my house. This is an Airbnb.
Right.
But if you as a viewer looking at that, you'd be like, okay, now I need to paint my house. Ma'am, that ain't their house. They went there, shot content, and then left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My shower routine and 75 steps. The girlies are using 5 soaps. And then they're
6
putting
scrubs.
6 scrubs. Then they oiling themselves in the shower. I'm a fall. I'm a big girl. If I bust my, that's gonna be a problem. My shower routine is not that long. But again, you go, you see visuals like that. Now you don't got money. You're gonna go, let me buy 75 products. Meanwhile, they got that from a brand sponsorship.
Right.
Somebody sent that to them for free. Now you trying to keep up. Next thing you know, you fall in the shower. Because you had to put oil. No.
Life alert.
Like, don't do that. Like, don't do that. We take things too seriously, you know? It's just insane.
Yeah, and then it's also an issue of comparing yourself to other people. If you don't see what's behind the scenes, then you don't know how relatable you actually are to that person. When we are putting these people on pedestals, because that's what social media does, it's a pedestal competition. Well, what can I do better? How can I do this? What can I have that you don't have? And et cetera, et cetera. When you see these people and they had almost like a hierarchy, it causes you to compare yourself. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm really not the most beautiful person in the world, because how can I be compared to this woman, or how can I be compared to this guy, or whoever it is you're comparing yourself to, whatever it is you're doing that's comparison. It's bad, because that's something that can cause negative delusions. Why would you cause negative delusions when you are indeed only you, no one else is like you, there will be no one else ever like you? That part. So how can you be saying I am not this, I'm not that, just because someone else is as who they are? It's like trying to compare a Bentley and a Porsche. A Bentley is a Bentley and a Porsche is a Porsche. You can't put them together. They're both beautiful cars, but they're separate cars. Both
and
different
somebody's
manufacturers.
Beauty is not the absence of your own.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Listen, you know, somebody's beauty is not the absence of your own. Somebody's wealth is not the absence of your own. Somebody's, you know, whatever it is that they have is not the absence of your own. And if you feel like you can aspire to that, by all means. But I did want to, you know, piggyback to you. I think the point that you made, you know, even earlier with seeing almost like the highlighted reel of people's lives. A question that I have for you. Do you think I don't want to say combat, but to really just like do something about all of these, you know, delusions that people are existing in on social media, do you think people need to be more open and honest in posting about some of those laws? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think people should people just like, or do people have the right to literally just post what they want to post as far as like however way they want to portray themselves? Like if they want to portray themselves as, you know, happy, joyous, you know, with 75-step routine, you know, skincare routine, that should they only be posting that, or do you feel like we need to see more of people being like, yo, the tea is that it ain't like that, like more honest, you know, posts like that on Instagram?
I think finding a balance between a mixture of the two. I'm a kind of person where I don't like sharing my personal life to the T. The T. The T. I will say I have no problem advocating for certain things that I go through. I have no problem saying, oh, I have a history of severe depression, anxiety, ADHD, like whatever it is. But I won't be like, oh, woe is me and this and that. It's I'm going to advocate for those who don't have a voice, who need help with it. If I can give some of what I've dealt with to help others, then I'm displaying the other side. Because if I never said those things, people wouldn't know that I dealt with those issues. They would only see, haha, Joe laughing, happy, smiling, but then wouldn't know the other half of it. And I feel like to an extent, if you're doing things and you're posting about your life being absolutely perfect, guess what? Some shit gets out and they find your life isn't perfect. Now, how does that make you look as a person? You don't have to. You're not obligated by any means to tell people your life and your story. But at some level, you have to still make yourself look human, because nobody's perfect. Yeah. Like, you can't.
I agree with that, and I agree with you to the extent of, like, you definitely want to highlight, you know, we talk about depression, we talk about mental health, we're going to talk about all these different things. Like, it's very important for us, you know. Let me go ahead and add you that tea, girl.
Thank you. How kind.
Let me just hook you up. Yeah, see, or, you know, British. Yeah, like I didn't bust into a British accent. You see this right here? In it. governor, you know? Why,
tea with
like,
a
having tea with a sport? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all like I didn't hear that, you know, off the jump. You definitely have the right to just, like, hold certain things that,
Right.
you know, are sacred to you,
Of course.
you know. However, we still need to be having these conversations. Yes, mental health is real. I've experienced it too. Now, you don't got to pull up and, you know, start boo-boo crying online. You don't got to be to that extreme.
No.
But, like, yeah, literally, you know, if it's fitting, like, talk about the things that matter.
Because you never know what you go through someone else's. And it's,
yeah.
I always like to say that depression is the loneliest mental illness, but it's the biggest club. But you don't know it because everybody suffers from it alone, but nobody knows that they're in this club together. And when you have the ability to use a platform to talk about things, to bring awareness to certain things, whether it's mental health or struggling with whatever it is you're struggling with, it gives you a sense of vulnerability that people can relate to, and it can be something that you're using to your advantage despite your situations for the better.
Yeah, that's a word, because it's like, it's crazy. We throw mental health around so loosely, but it is really true. So many people are struggling in silence, and, you know, just be kind. Just, you know, do what you gotta do. Be kind to people. Don't be a jerk, because a lot of people be also doing the most. A lot of people are going through a lot of different things that, you know, it's definitely important to talk about. But all in all, I agree. I think there's a certain level of delusion that you need to exist in. Absolutely. However, come a period, please don't take it too far. You know, and also
be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Fully and truly and all authentically and genuinely as you possibly can. Yeah.
That's the word. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Friend. Listen, y'all. This is some good tea. The tea is good. The conversation was good.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate
you for
it.
doing this.
Yeah.
This is a really good first Tea Talks with Joe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really, really am excited, y'all.
Me too. Well, you guys know what to do. Make sure you give Benny a follow. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I put out videos every Sunday. Well, I lied. The last few Sundays I haven't, because life has gotten too crazy, but I'm admitting that. Yes.
Leave her alone, okay?
But I appreciate you guys. Expect more to come, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.